My stepmother hid my $1 million inheritance and gave everything to her son. She thought I'd never find out. My mother died when I was 8, and a year later my father married Denise, a woman who came with a son named Brandon. From that moment on, it was obvious who mattered most in our house. Brandon always got the newest clothes, the better gifts, and endless second chances, while I learned to survive on whatever was left over. The only person who ever truly saw what was happening was my grandfather. He was my safe place, the one person who made me feel valued. When he died, I was devastated. During the reading of his will, I expected nothing more than a keepsake to remember him by. Instead, I sat there in shock as Denise, Brandon, and my father all received money and assets while I received only a small box of photographs. It didn't make sense because my grandfather and I had been incredibly close, but I convinced myself that grief was making me question things. Denise even patted my shoulder afterward and told me Grandpa had loved everyone equally. For years, I believed her. I worked hard, finished school, rented a tiny apartment, and struggled to build a life. Meanwhile, Brandon somehow managed to buy luxury cars, expensive houses, and take lavish vacations despite barely holding a job. Everyone joked about how lucky he was, but nobody questioned where the money came from. Then one ordinary afternoon, I received a call from a law firm. An internal audit had uncovered a trust account connected to my grandfather's estate worth over $2 million. According to the documents, I was the sole beneficiary. My heart nearly stopped. The attorney explained that my grandfather had created the trust years before his death specifically for me, but somehow the inheritance had never reached me. When I asked why, the answer changed everything. Someone had intercepted the estate communications, redirected notices, forged signatures, and falsely informed the firm that I had declined the inheritance. That person was Denise. Suddenly every piece of the puzzle fell into place. The luxury lifestyle Brandon enjoyed, the expensive house, the vacations, the cars, it had all been funded by money that belonged to me. Investigators uncovered a trail of forged documents and financial transfers leading directly to Denise and Brandon. My father was horrified when he saw the evidence. He had no idea what his wife had done. Denise tried every excuse imaginable, claiming it was a misunderstanding, then claiming she was protecting family assets, but the paperwork told a very different story. As the investigation continued, assets were frozen, properties were sold, and accounts were seized. The lifestyle Brandon had enjoyed for years vanished almost overnight. A year later, I ran into him at a grocery store. Gone were the designer clothes and arrogant attitude. After some awkward conversation, he looked at me and asked if it had really been worth destroying the family over money. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The people who stole from me for years were now blaming me for the consequences. So I looked him in the eye and said, I didn't destroy the family. You spent my inheritance doing that. He didn't have a response. For the first time in his life, there was nobody left to bail him out. As I walked away, I realized the best part wasn't recovering the money or finally having financial security. It was knowing that my grandfather had trusted me all along, and despite everything Denise did to hide it, the truth eventually found its way back to me.